Welcome students. Let us study the subject design of machine element or machine design 1. It has 6th unit. All the 6 units we are going to study one by one. Today let us start with unit number 1, that is mechanical engineering design processes. The different topics in this unit are traditional design methods, general industrial design procedures, design considerations, phases in design, creativity in design, use of standardization, preferred series, introduction to ISO 9000, use of design data book, aesthetic considerations in design, and ergonomic considerations in design. Let us go one by one. The first topic is traditional design methods. Traditionally, we have two methods. First is design by craft evolution and the second is design by drawing. The salient features of design by craft evolution are: the products are prepared by trial and error method. That is, a product is prepared, directly manufactured, and after using it, after it is being applied, its application, we find that these are the things that need to be modified. So again, a new product is prepared considering all those corrections or the improvement that was supposed to be needed. Dimension drawing are not prepared here. Directly products are prepared. So dimension drawing on a sheet or documentation was not required or not prepared. No adequate justification of design. Since we do not have any dimension drawing or specific documentation for this, so justification of the design, why this design, why this thickness, why this much material, why this material, so these things are not justified. Modification is costly. Since directly we are making the product, so modification becomes costly. Only one change at a time is made. One or two changes at a time can be made. Complete reorientation is difficult. Complete makeover, complete change of the product with many modification is difficult. Product informations like material, dimension, manufacturing method, assembly, these are transferred from one place to other or from time to time by two ways. The first way is product itself as a source of information. Means at this place the product is made, it is being used. So when the product goes from one place to one, which is being used from one place to one, the its informations like material and all those properties are transferred to different people. Means different people come to know about this. And the second method is sequence of operation. That is, few products like bullock cart, rowing boat, plow, musical instruments, these were used, and the sequence in which these products were used, those like took the information about that product. Mass scale production is not possible, and hence this method is nowadays completely obsolete, not very frequently used or not used. Sudden changes in design is not possible. So suddenly if we want to make some changes in the design, that is not possible in this method. Now let us study the next method, design by drawing. The features of design by drawing are: here the dimensions of the product are specified in advance. Means in advance we calculate and decide the dimensions, specifications of the product. The complete manufacturing of the product can be subdivided into separate pieces and can be made by different people. That means a product having different parts can be manufactured and dimensions can be specified by different people, different designers, and that can be combined and assembled at the end. Trial and error, if required, is carried out on the drawing sheet and not on the directly on the shop floor. Means if we need to try the product before sending it for the to the market, the trial and error method will be done on the sheet, that is on the specific dimensions that we have drawn on the sheets. We will try different probabilities of the product on the sheet and then it will be sent to the shop floor, not directly on the shop floor. The drawing is modified multiple times before it is going for final manufacturing. So before it is the final drawing is drawn, it goes through number of modifications. Much intellectual activities are taken away from the shop floor and assigned to design engineers. That means if some customers suggestions or corrections are coming in the about the product, it is not directly sent to the shop floor to modify it. It is sent to design engineers, and design engineers make all the changes that are expected, and then the new model or the new product is manufactured in the shop on the shop floor. Now we have next topic, general industrial design procedures. Now we have different procedures, steps by step we follow these procedures in the industry for designing any product. The first is identification of the need. Identification of the need, or also called as problem identification. First of all, a design engineer must identify whether this design is really required, whether this is a real and actual problem. So that study must be done prior to the design, details of the design. When we decide that okay, this is the need, really this problem is to be worked on, then selection of solutions, that is different possible mechanisms or the solutions, what are the solutions or the mechanisms that is required to overcome this problem or the satisfy the need. So out of those, a fixed optimum solution is focused on. We find different solution for the problem, but we come to after a lot of discussion and brainstorming, we come to the end that okay, this is the optimum and best solution that we should work for. Then analysis of the forces. When we have decided the solution, we have decided the mechanism, then what are the different forces acting on this, whether the mechanism is static, dynamic, depending upon that, what are different forces that are going to act, acting forces, reacting forces, all those things we need to calculate and find out. Then since the forces acting on the mechanism on the solution we have decided, then we go for selection of material. What are the materials that we need to apply on for this modification of the product, and when the materials are decided, we go for design of individual elements. In the earlier stage also we have discussed that different pieces are designed and specified in advance. So different elements, different components are designed separately, separate drawings are drawn for the different elements. Then we go for modification. Now modification means when different elements are designed, now if we feel that we need to change something, we can modify at this stage, because later on the next step comes out is detailed drawing. When everything is okay, considered perfect, then we go for detailed drawing of the product so that it can be sent to shop floor, and hence the next step is production. When the detailed drawing is ready, it is sent to shop floor for the production of the product. And the most important and the last step here is quality checking. Once the product is manufactured on the shop floor, the quality checking has to be very genuinely done, so that whatever the problem was identified, whether all those objectives are satisfied or not. When the quality is not okay, we have to modify somewhere, we have to check what is going wrong, whether the forces are not considered correctly, whether material has to be changed, design of elements has to be changed, and depending upon that, the quality checking becomes a very important step. The next topic is design considerations. Design considerations means while following all those industrial design procedures, what are the things, what are the steps that we need to definitely consider, what are the things that we must consider that should not be left alone. So there are n number of considerations in the book. You will find, depending upon different books, you will find 26 to 30 design considerations. Out of those, we take only 12 to 13 considerations that must be considered, that should not be left. So first is type of load and stresses caused by the load. A design engineer must identify what are the different types of load coming on the component. On different components, what are the loads coming, and due to those loads, what are the stresses generated. So load calculations and stresses generated due to those loads has to be considered, that should not be left. Motion of the parts or kinematics of the mechanism. What are different motions of the different parts has to be seen. What are the relative motions? What are the kinematics, means motions due to different components, relation between them. So that has to be considered. Selection of the material. What are the different types of materials that can be, that is suitable for a particular product, and what is the best material that has to be taken. So when it comes to strength, which type of material to be considered. When strength is not required, the looks matters, the aesthetic matters. At that time, what type of material is to be considered. This has to be considered in advance. Form and size of the parts. What are different types of the parts? What are the form, means what are the sizes, with design, outer design, all that has to be considered. Like size of the part becomes very, very important, because we have a standard size of the components in the market. Suppose you take an example of nut or bolt, you have standard dimensions of the nuts and bolts in the market. So standard sizes has to be considered. And form means what are the outer design, how it should be, so that there is no necking, there is no stress concentration, all these factors has to be considered. Frictional resistance and lubrication. When already we have considered different loads, different motions, so definitely due to different motions there will be friction. So what are the different frictional resistances occurring at different parts? What are the types of lubrication that we need depending upon the friction? So lubrication has to be considered. Convenient and economical features. Now if a product is very nice, like it is perfect, but it is not economical, it is very costly. So a product has to be in the range of its proper cost. So economical considerations has to be done. It should be convenient. A product is very nice, but while using it is very difficult to handle it. So that becomes inconvenient. So a product must be convenient as well as economical. Use of standard parts. Already I have discussed in the form and size of parts heading that standard parts has to be considered, so that it is easily replaced when it comes for the maintenance. So use of standard parts is an important consideration. Safety of operations. Next step is safety of operations, means while operating the product or the mechanism or the machine, it should be safe. The first and foremost and the most important thing that a design engineer must consider is the safety of the operator. So that should not be very unsafe to use. So safety has to be considered. Workshop facilities. A design engineer must consider what are the workshop facilities he or she has, and depending upon that the product has to be designed. If I do not have a very high quality of workshop facility, how can I design in my workshop? So workshop facility has to be, that we call as constraints has to be taken care of. Number of machines to be manufactured. Now how many number of machines or the mechanisms or the component we need to manufacture, that has to be considered. If I need to go for only 2, 3, 4, 5 batch production products, we will opt for different processes. But when in case of mass production, we have to opt for different processes. So number of machines or the components to be manufactured also has to be considered, so that different machining processes can be selected. Now cost of construction. We must consider the cost of construction. It should not be too high. The product is of very low cost and we are going for the high cost of construction, so that will not be justified. And the last is assembly. Since in the previous design by drawing we have seen different parts can be manufactured, can be specified, drawn, and can be assembled together. So assembly becomes very important considerations, that different parts are prepared at different places, so that has to be easily assembled and disassembled. So nowadays you would see in any of the components or machines, every parts are very easily assembled and disassembled, so that has to be considered. Now the next is phases in design. In this topic, phases in design, we have different phases that a product goes through. Like we go through different phases of our life from childhood to the death. So similarly, a product goes through different phases in design. A product design engineer must note what are the different phases that a product goes through. First is feasibility study. Now what is this feasibility study? In the initial design procedure, you must have seen that first of all we need to identify what is the need or what is the problem that arises due to which we have to consider the design of the product. So feasibility, whether the product is feasible, whether this problem is feasible, whether the need is feasible. So we have to study the feasibility of the product, feasibility of the design, requirement. So that comes under feasibility study, and that considers a lot of time, that takes a lot of time to study the need, the problem of the product or the design. Then comes out is preliminary design. Now in preliminary design, whenever we see any problem in the product, we see any need or the problem is identified, initially design engineer looks at it and he finds a number of solutions going through his mind. So all those number of solutions coming in the mind of a design engineer, or after discussion with his team, all those rough designs are called as preliminary design. So preliminary design makes the base of the final design. So in the preliminary design, all the roughly like solutions are considered, and then a design engineer goes like he starts narrowing down the different solutions, and he goes for a fixed one solution, and that fixed one solution is then like studied for detailed design. When we had number of solutions for one problem, then we eliminated different not feasible solutions and we came to one solution. Okay, this is the final solution that we must go for. Then we as a design engineer, we go for detailed drawing of that solution. Different parts are detailed drawn on the sheet or the nowadays on AutoCAD and different softwares, and then that detailed design is considered for the further life of the product. Then comes the planning for production. Now a design engineer is not just an engineer who is just designing. He must plan for the production also. What are the processes the product has to go through? What are the different machining and manufacturing processes that has to be followed? So all those planning also a design engineer does. After the production, the design engineer must also think of a product going for what is planning for distribution. Now how will it be distributed? If a product is prepared, manufactured, now if it is not distributed among the customers in different zones, then it will not achieve its full purpose. The purpose of the product is its uses only. So that has to be used. So for customers to use the product, an engineer must plan for the distribution, correct distribution of the product. Then comes planning for consumption. Now when the product is used by the customer, how frequently it is consumed? It is consumed on daily basis, on weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, or for a decade. Like we have in our household different products. Few products are used for 1 to 2 days, few products are used for a week, for a month, for a year. So how long it is going to be consumed by the customer, that planning also has to be done. Nowadays you see that different models of phones are coming. So they are also planning that how frequently this is consumed, after how many years a customer will need to change his mobile phone. So all this comes under different phases of the design. And the last is planning for retirement. A product must be planned when it should be retired. Like the Android latest version is going on, when should it be retired? So we will take a case of in 1 year after latest version of Android will come. So it has a pre-planned retirement period of okay, after 1 year or after 2 to 3 years this version will be not be available. Similarly, a product when designed, it is pre-planned that when it is going to retire, after this period of time a new product will come and replace this product. So depending upon the period for which it will be in use, the product quality, quantity and everything is planned.